Hey YouTube, we have a little interesting project here, something that might be of interest, and it is a 22 caliber Colt conversion kit. I'll show you what this is. This was given to me by a friend, and this is the kit here. There's no longer any markings on the outside of the box, but when we open up here and we see what we've got, we have the kit for a 22 conversion unit. This is not the ACE kit. This is something different. This here, I believe, was prior to the ACE kit. You can comment if I'm wrong on that, but this does have a date in here, and I'll show you what the date is. There is the paperwork that comes with the kit, and if we flip it over, we will see here a date of 1957, and that was when the gentleman that gave this to me, it was willed to me. I received it back in the, I'd say it was about the mid to late 1980s when I got it, and I put it on several frames that I had, and I've got a new frame now that I've been using for a MechTech upper exclusively, but I want to fit this frame now to this kit, and that is what we're going to do, and I'll hopefully be able to show you the process. We have the magazine, of course, and a pack of ammo, and the main recoil spring, and then we have the slide, and you can see the slide here if I can get a good picture of that, showing the Colt markings, and there you see some of the other markings. And you'll notice it does not say that it's an ACE, it is a conversion kit. Okay, and we have adjustable sights. Looks like the standard slide. And then we have and we will remove that. Hopefully I'm getting all this for you. We have the barrel here, and it has the floating chamber, which this is supposed to simulate firing a .45 ACP, as when you fire the gun, the floating chamber slams back and it gives you that little extra bit of felt recoil. And this was done for training purposes, for military training. Even though this has no property of United States markings on it, this was what that was intended for. And you see the marking here, 22 long rifle, and the end of the barrel, which the crown has been polished by me much earlier. So we'll take a look now at the frame. So here we have the frame. It is an off-brand frame, and this is one that was an 80%er. And you can see there where got it die-cummed up, and we're going to start fitting, and we will have a little area that we're going to do the fitting. I've got a variety of stones and hones in here, and I have one that I'm cleaning right now for the purpose of starting to hone down the rails, which the rails are going to be here. So we are going to fit to the slide, and we're going to start stoning and honing on the rails. The die-cum's going to show us where we're rubbing and where we need to work on this. So I'm waiting for the die-cum to dry, and then we'll be getting to that. So now we're going to take a look here at what kind of fit we have to begin with. So we're going to go ahead and just put that slide on. And as you can see, it's very snug. So we're going to take the full length of that slide. It is obviously not going to function like that. And we're going to see where we're at here. So we can see our rub marks. We've got some here. Got some rub marks here. And we've got some rub marks in here. And looking pretty good. We also want to look under the rails. It looks like for the most part right now, our rub marks are really up here on the top rail, and then this side rail right here on the inside. We're looking pretty good there. So this is where we're going to start. All right then. So first thing we'll do is we'll relieve or take some material. This is just mineral spirits that I have in here. We're going to go ahead and relieve the top material here where we see some rubbing. So we will do that first. Maintaining flatness. You want to clean your stone fairly often. Now this is not going to be a competition gun, so I'm not going to sit and chase this thing for extreme tightness. It would be nice, but that's not what we're after. We just want a nice smooth action that's going to function well with both the MechTech unit and the 22 slide we're fitting for. It's a standard India stone we're using right now. I have a couple other stones that will work pretty well on finer, for a finer finish. I want to keep these stones clean. Okay. And we're going to re-dicum that and then check it. By the way, if you're wondering what dicum is, this is dicum. It's a layout fluid. Costs about 12 bucks or less. And it's just for doing metal layouts. So now we'll go ahead and stick the slide back on. See where we're at. Okay. Looks like we pretty much cleared the rub except for maybe a little bit right here and here. Okay. We got a little here still on this edge, edging there, and right there. Okay. Still maintaining some tightness here. A little rub right there. Looking pretty good. Okay. We'll try a little more here. So we'll continue taking from the top. We have an edge here that needs a little extra. And then we have an edge over here that that's also requiring a little extra right here. Just going to finish off with doing the entire top here. Okay. Now we'll die-come that and dry that off, die-come it. I use a blow gun to get the rest of the mineral spirits off, and then we'll start checking this edge again. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put the slide back on, see where we're at. And things are going to change. And as you can see, we have changed. We now have increased rub here. Where we were chasing earlier, we still have our rub here. Looking pretty good on this side. So we're going to go ahead and chase these edges again. We'll re-die-come, see where we're at. Okay, see where we're at. Feels a little smoother. Okay. Looking at what we have here, we've got a little bit more rub here. And I think right now, though, we're going to go ahead and chase this area right in here. I have a stone for that. And that's this one here. We got a really nice fit. So I'll go ahead and start working on that. You want to keep that stone clean of debris. Okay, looking pretty good. right. We'll dry that off, re-dike them, see where we're at. Okay, let's see what we've done. Definitely a smoother action. Looks like we still have our little bit of riding on the top here. And we're still, or better looking, we're still rubbing there. I like the way this looks over here. There's a little bit more riding right here now, so I think what we'll do, we'll chase this under the rail again, and we'll go ahead and chase a little bit under this rail and see where we end up. Okay. Chase a little bit on this side too. Back over here, we're going to do a little bit more here too. Okay, and I'm going to come back up here to this area here. Okay, so we're going to re-dike them and check out what we've gotten. Okay, we are back and we're going to see where we're at. We are dikemed up and we'll slip her on here, and that's getting to be much nicer. Much nicer until we gall up. Okay, and obviously there's no oil on there, so we're going to see, we have to continue right here, a little bit in the rear, so we're going to concentrate right there on that rail right there. Yeah, right in there. That's where we'll concentrate next. Alrighty, let's see what we've done now. Much easier. Still not what we want for you know, functioning, that this gun's going to function well. It's extremely tight. And got a little bit of play, but mostly sideways play is very minimal. So I think we're going to have to work on these rails here. We can see here, here's where we're having our tightness there. Okay, maybe a little bit more in here. So that's where we're gonna hit next. It is a slow process, but you don't want to take too much. We are taking just a very, you know, thousandths if we're taking that much on each of these sessions. Here, do a little bit here as well. You'll feel the stone will get very slick, and you won't feel the little grind of taking material. The metal just tends to ball up into the stone here. So that's why you got to keep it clean, so that we do get that cutting. Re-dike them, see where we're at. So we took a little break. It's a new day, and we're going to do that fitting now. See where it goes. So we'll slip that on. Okay, we're getting some very good definition now. Getting some good definition of where we're still needing to chase. So we've got here, we've got under the rail, we're showing in this corner. Tried to get some better lighting for you guys, just so you can see. We got some here in the front that just showed up. So that shows how things are moving. As you progress, things move. So that's why you're taking a little bit here, a little bit there. We're showing pretty good underneath here, no rubbing yet. Maybe a little in the back, but much more pronounced on the left side of the frame, which would be in here. So we'll go and chase that. And you guys got the gist of what I'm doing now with this honing. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this some more, get this a lot closer, and then come back to you guys. So that'll be the next segment here that we phase into when I'm a lot closer. All right, we'll see you then. Okay, we have reached a point where we have a fairly smooth running slide. There's still a little bit of hang up here. Not much. This is not where it's rubbing. I haven't re-dicumed yet. But I want to show you at this point what some people might want to do. And I'll explain why I'm not going to do it. Okay. At this point, since the gun's running fairly smoothly, we would, if you're a real stickler for having a tight, smooth running gun, but also tight. And I'm not looking for the tightness because this is a utility type firearm. It's going to be for swapping different slides, like I said, to a Mech Tech upper, to the 22 conversion kit, and maybe even another 45 slide. I love 45. Not a big fan of 9mm, but hey, we won't go into that argument. But what some might do is get into the clover compound. This is lapping compound. This is very, very fine. And what you're going to see here is this is a manufacturer who's, I don't even know if they're still in business. I've had this set for 30 years and have used it for the finer nuances. And you'll see it's coated like with a 4A here and a B. And these are different lapping compounds. The abrasive, the grit number you can see here. I don't know if that's going to pick that up, but you can see the different grits, and you get all the way up to a 1200 grit, which is a very, very fine grit, from 120 to 1200. So you've got a good choice in here. If you're going to do a lot of this work, and if you're going to be getting into the custom guns and custom fitting, like I said, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to go through the expense of having to re-blue this and take it completely apart and go into, like I said, re-bluing and refinishing, because you're going to end up taking all the bluing off of this, and it's going to seep into all the nooks and crannies in here, and you got a big cleanup job to do. I'm just doing this as a quickie little thing to get the gun running. So we'll put that aside, and back to the frame. We are at a point now that we've got just some little hang-ups. So I'm going to re-dike them, and then we're going to move on to the honing stones now, to where we're just taking off some high points. We're taking minimal amounts of material, and you can see here my hones have been used and abused over the years, but we're going to be using pretty much the same hone as we were using, or the same type of stone. And we got a square stone here we're going to use, and we also have a triangular stone which we're going to clean up and use that also. So when I get back to you guys, I'll get these cleaned up a bit, and we'll re-dike them, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, we are re-dikemed. We're going to see where our next step is going to go, and let's see where we are with this now. Okay, we've got a fairly even rub here underneath the left rail, and we're looking like a pretty light rubbing here on the top, and we've got very light rubbing here on the right rail. A little touch right there probably. And we're going to continue now with the hones on the inside of this rail here. So let's do that and see what happens. Now, I would like to say that, say you've gone too far, you've done too much, and now you have something very sloppy. There is a fix for that. We're working with metal. Metal can be very forgiving as long as you don't take too much. And the solution is going to be a small, and I emphasize small, ball peen hammer. This is like an 8-ounce hammer. And what you would do then is you would gently tap the top of the rail, not the sides, the top of the rail. And you would very lightly tap the top of the rails and check again with your slide. Once you've tightened it up, it's not bad to go too tight, a little bit too tight, but then you come back in with the hones, or you'd come back in with lapping compound if you want to go that far. So we're going to go in here and touch up the rail here, just on the inside. Doesn't look like we need anything on the back. A little toward the front here, the metal. Bottom sides of the slide are looking good. Probably go in and touch this up a little bit right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So, you know, I think there are jigs for doing this too now. I wouldn't be surprised if they figured out some kind of way to use lasers. But I'm old school. I graduated from Colorado School of Trades. I've mentioned that before. Back in December of '82. And they are now a 9-month school where they were a 2-year program when I was attending, and it had been a 2-year program for many years before me. Great teachers there, learned a lot. September of '82, I think it was, when they went to a 9-month program, and they offered to graduate me. You can get out in the workforce early. You only have 3 months to go. We're now a 9-month program. And I said, nope, my contract was for a full 2 years. I need that full 2 years. I have a lot to learn. Some of the guys there took it, but not me. I wanted to continue and get the whole course done, which I'm glad I did. And of course, for $2.60 an hour, I think is what I paid for tuition. That was a steal by today's standards. You can't find that anymore. That was a deal. So I'm going to come in here in the back end, do a little honing here. Now this is taking a lot less metal. You can be aggressive. You're not going to hurt anything. I'll come back in here and get this guy a little bit more. But yeah, great school at the time. I don't know how they are now. I don't know what you can learn in 9 months, honestly. But for those that are, I was not mechanically inclined. My dad was. He was a coppersmith and a tool and die maker. One of the best in the country. Worked for Ford, designed the, helped design the body, the dies for the 64.5 Mustang, 65 Mustang, and was instrumental in some of the features that Ford wanted in that design. Every time I see one of those, I think of my dad. He was a great man and a great father. Let's just slide this on, see what we're getting. That is getting good. There's a little hang up right there. Right there. So we've got a little high spot I'd like to take care of. We're still up and down. We are pretty darn good. I mean, a lot tighter than a Glock, right? Not a Glock fan, but I know many people love them. So we're at a point here where I'm going to do another dicum, and we are going to see where the final rub is, and I think we're gonna be where we want. All right, we'll dry it up, re-dicum, come right back. Okay, we're back, and we're gonna do what hopefully is gonna be a final run here. We will put her on, and that is feeling pretty darn good. Now it's got dicum on it, no oil. I am going to go ahead, and I see no real high spots. The rubbing is light. Look at the other side here. Again, rubbing is very light. Okay, we got little emphasis right here and a little bit here. But that is looking good. So why don't we go ahead and take these two high spots down. We're looking good on the top. We're looking good inside, underneath the rails. Yeah, we'll take those high spots down and go from there. Okay, really shouldn't take too much to get where we want to go. You can see now how the right side here has come back into play. I do see a little bit of more definition right here that we can go ahead and just chase that a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's see where we're at. And I really don't want to do anything to the top because we're looking like we're evening out there. Okay. That's feeling good. That is feeling really good. So you can see that slide with the dicum and no oil. And yes, you got a little bit of wobble in there when the gun is set in battery. Very little. It's tighter than any 45 you're going to buy from the factory. And that's because these guns are made to function when they get a little gritty and dirty. That's why they were such a great tool. World War I, World War II. This was the go-to sidearm. And it functioned, it worked. So at this point, I am ready to clean all the dicom off. And the next step in this is going to be electroless nickel finishing. I have a small kit for electroless nickel here. So I am going to get this frame bead blasted. I have a bead blaster here at home. We're going to bead blast it and do the electroless nickel, and that would be in another video. So I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you learned something. Perhaps you don't want to do it the old school way. You want to use a jig and do it the new way. But this is old school. This is the way I was taught, and it can be done. No power tools. You're using your stone, you're using your hands, you're using the dicom, you're using your sight. So hope you enjoyed that, and we'll do a follow-up video somewhere down the line. I'm waiting for some parts, and then we'll do the nickeling, and we'll show you the gun when it's complete. All right, thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this. Make a comment if you have comments on new ways of doing this, better ways of doing this. Feel free to comment. Everybody's welcome. All right, you guys, have a good day. We're living good here in Idaho. And again, live free or die. Bye, folks.